I thought you were in prison for life.
I work for the government.
Post office?
You think they'd let me out of prison to deliver mail?
I don't know. It's the first government job I could think of.
I kill people for it, okay?
All right, so we're very excited to talk about the finale and generally the whole season of Peacemaker. But before we get to the finale, I kind of want to go back and talk about the beginning and how you got involved with Peacemaker. James has gone and talked about you taking over the role for another actor and having to reshoot scenes for the first 5 episodes, which is more than half of the season. What was it like for you coming in so late in the sense? Like, were you like the new kid in school, and how were you welcomed?
It was a strange experience. I haven't done that before. I've been part of, I've come into jobs where they were franchises and definitely a close-knit family. And they've all been great experiences, as was this. It was a strange one. I went to Canada and did 2 weeks of quarantine because this was a COVID, so that was the first thing you had to do. And a little nervous, but the second I got to set, everyone was incredible. James, John, and the cast, like everyone was very, very welcoming. And from day one on, I felt relaxed and felt like I was part of the group. So it was, there was nothing to ever really worry about.
So were you part of filming the intro sequence is my next question?
No, and that was stunts as well, so it was a kind of a mix, but it was fun. It was fun reading it and then fun seeing it, but yeah, no, that wasn't, no.
Maybe for the next seaon, they'll see you do some flips yourself.
Yeah, you have no idea what James is going to do. Maybe it could be hand puppets for all we know, it could be anything.
Vigilante has kind of been pretty invincible. It's kind of unbelievable that he's survived like grenades and being stabbed and shot and jumping out of the hospital window when he decided he was ready to be released. In the comics, Vigilante has these advanced healing powers. Is there some part of Vigilante's history that we haven't explored yet that kind of hints to that?
We haven't talked about that. It could be and it could not be. So I can't really give you any clarity on it. But yeah, there's definitely moments when you see the grenade, you see other stuff, and then he seems to be okay. But it could be movie magic or it could be Vigilante healing powers. I don't know. That's the question for James. He's got an incredible knowledge of the comics, so he knows exactly what's the best path to take.
I really do hope we get to see more of Vigilante because he's really been the breakout character for me and for many people that I've been talking to. So I do hope we get to see more and learn more about his backstory.
He comes with Peacemaker. For me, that's his bromance is such a important part of Vigilante, but yeah, no, thank you.
What does Adrian admire about Chris? And more importantly, what do you enjoy about filming scenes with John?
He likes that Chris is a superhero and a successful one, and he likes to be a vigilante, and that's definitely what he gravitates towards. But and then for me, it was the same with John. Like John is just. It was a very easy job because it translated straight across with working with him as an actor. He's talented, he's funny, he can do absolutely anything. So he's I from day one of meeting him, I was in awe of him. So it was an easy task.
Vigilante was working by himself. He was very no one knows my identity, very solo. But now working with this team and having come through a bunch of episodes and this whole arc with all of these new teammates, what has he learned from working with other people and now working with a team that he can possibly learn from and grow?
Once you started to see that he could take his mask off and feel comfortable around everyone else, that was definitely him opening up a little bit and being able to be a team player. So yeah, I think he probably learned that he can have some teammates. But other than that, he doesn't really learn a lot throughout the show. He's he kind of has a pretty linear progression, but that makes sense. That's what he's there for.
I was wondering if you've seen that people have kind of associated or gotten the read of Adrian being on the autistic spectrum and how, without villainizing it or creating any weird relationship between the two.
We did talk a lot about him not being able to pick up on social cues and so there's definitely a possibility for it, but I can't give a definite answer because that's James's his decision before I could make anything. I've learned the term canon. That means that it's confirmed, but I wouldn't be able to just because it's not my character to say that.
So I also wanted to ask, what was your favorite scene to film throughout the entire first season?
There's so many scenes, so many fun scenes. I enjoyed the jail scene a lot. That was fun, just from an acting perspective. A lot of group scenes were a lot of fun. Pretty much any scene with John or Steve Agee, who constantly tries to make you crack up, and he'll be filming you with his phone when in the middle of a scene and doing whatever he can to make you laugh. So he made things very entertaining.
I also wanted to ask about the acting process when you're wearing a mask for a lot of those scenes, when you are in like your full regalia of vigilante uniform. What has your approach been to like acting more physically, or to still bring vigilante Adrian out in those scenes where your face is covered?
When you have the mask on, you can't be as subtle as you'd like. It's essentially shooting on a crazy wide lens. You've got to be as big as you can. And with your voice, it's almost like doing voice acting for cartoons. You have to give much more of the performance through the voice. Deadpool and Spider-Man, they kind of move their eyes a little bit in post, so you can kind of get a little bit more expression, but we just have the visor. So it's a lot more with physical and a lot more with voice.
James tweeted during one of these watch parties that you were speaking in an American accent the entire time, even off between scenes, and that when John finally heard your real accent, that he was very surprised. Just for fans, like, could you just like talk about what that interaction was? Like, what happened? What were you guys doing?
Yeah, I did spend the entire shoot in an American accent the whole time, whether I was on set or at home or at the the hotel or wherever, and just because it helps me with the character. I wasn't there. James told John when they were together, so I wasn't actually there for it. But he said he was very shocked. It's a weird thing to do, but it definitely helps with trying to nail the character a little bit more.
Lots of superheroes have been name dropped in Peacemaker. Is there any one of that list, minor or large, that you would like to have crossover, come over, make a cameo or anything?
What worries me sometimes is a lot of the other superheroes have such incredible powers that you just go, well, they could just kind of do everything. And so I worry that could be an issue, but Batman's pretty cool. That's why, because he doesn't have those powers maybe. Black Adam looks really cool as well. I don't know, whatever James, he'll make the right choice. So I'm happy to just to be a passenger on that boat.
I would really love for Black Adam to show up, just so like John and Dwayne can just do like the handshake from like Predator, just being like
yeah, just
big
have the
arms,
massive biceps, and they can have their wrestling moment. Yeah, that'd be great.
And just tying it back to James and all of his superhero creations, if there was anyone from Guardians of the Galaxy who would like to come join you, they're also a ragtag group of people with powers and crazy personalities. Who would you like to have come over?
Oh man, I mean, any one of them. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think they're all insanely talented. Chris Pratt would be amazing, just because I could then say that I've met Chris Pratt, because he looks like a really, really like great guy and a very funny guy. So yeah, probably have him.
Thank you so much, Freddie, for sitting down with us. We're really excited to see what the team goes through next.
Thank you for talking to me.
Grenade blows up like 2 people.
How many people does this blow up?
I don't know. I invented it this morning.
What?
Eat peace, mother.